What's doing, everybody? Welcome to episode 743 of First Class Fatherhood. I'm happy and honored, as always, to be here with you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Got a great guest to bring you guys. We're headed back to the gridiron today. NFL legendary running back Chris Johnson joins me on the podcast today, better known as CJ2K, for his 2,000 rushing yard season in 2009, where he also set the record for the most yards from scrimmage in a season with over 2,500 yards. That record still stands to this day. Chris Johnson played his college football at East Carolina University. Before the 2008 NFL Draft, he ran the fastest 40-yard dash time on record, 4.24 at the time. That was the fastest 40-yard dash that was ever run. He was drafted in the first round of the 2008 NFL Draft by the Tennessee Titans. He will go on to rush for 1,000 yards in every single season that he played for the Tennessee Titans. He would then finish up his career playing running back for the New York Jets and then the Arizona Cardinals. Right now, Chris Johnson's main focus, though, is fatherhood. Chris Johnson, we're going to focus on his fatherhood journey today. The NFL running back will be here with me in just a few minutes, so please stick around for the interview. And if you want to listen to so many of the NFL dads that have joined me on the podcast here, please go through the archives on firstclassfatherhood.com. You're going to find all of them. I've had a chance to interview Kurt Warner, Steve Smith Sr., Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. I've done all these different interviews, Ronnie Lott. I mean, the list really goes on and on, so there's no end. Donovan McNabb, Edgerrin James. So many. No matter what team you root for in the NFL, I've interviewed a dad that plays on that team. So go through the archives, check them all out. And if you're looking to save tickets on the upcoming NFL season, hockey playoffs are right around the corner. Same with the NBA. Any sports ticket that you want, buy your tickets on SeatGeek.com or use that SeatGeek app. Plug in the promo code FIRSTCLASS. That's one word, First Class. You can save $20 on your tickets. And dads, every dollar helps, all right? The prices for these games, I think sometimes the snacks cost a lot more than the tickets do at some of these places. Parking, $40. It's outrageous. So save a few bucks on the tickets, $20 off. Go to SeatGeek.com. Use the promo code FIRSTCLASS. All right, so let's do this. As always, please help me spread the word about this podcast. Every father in your neighborhood or in your contact list, let them know about the show that's here celebrating fatherhood and family life. You guys know it. Every day is Father's Day right here on the podcast. Here comes my interview straight up with Chris Johnson on First Class Fatherhood.
First Class Fatherhood. That is where Alec Lace comes in with his popular podcast.
And one of the most interesting was on a podcast.
Alec Lace interviews high-profile fathers, from actors to NFL players, with a vision to change the narrative of fatherhood and family life.
All right, joining me now, First Class Father Chris Johnson. Welcome to First Class Fatherhood.
How you doing? How you doing? Glad to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Let's start like this. How many kids do you have? How old?
I got three. I got twin boys. That's 11, and then I got a daughter. She's 5. She'll be 6 April 1st.
Wow, awesome. If you could, Chris, just for the people who don't know, take a second to hit my listeners with a little bit about your background.
I'm CJ2K, former All-Pro running back of the Tennessee Titans. I got drafted in 2008, played 10 years. Now I'm retired. I've retired for 5 years. So that's me all in a nutshell.
All right, so you said your twin boys are 11. Then take me back 11 years then. About how old were you when you became a dad, and how did that experience change your perspective on life?
I was actually 26. I think it was 26. I was playing for the Titans at the time. And then end up, it was crazy because before, like when first initially finding out if she was pregnant or whatever, when they went in there to, do the ultrasound and stuff like that, they come back and was like, wait, it's 2 heartbeats. Like, huh? Like, so just for not having no kids, never been a father or anything like that, and just like your first time to it just be twins out of the gate, it's like, what? Oh my God. Like I was literally like tying up my cleats, finna run outside to go to practice, and I get the phone call, so I'm trying to get out the door and listening. I'm like, so the whole time I'm at practice, this is what I'm thinking about, because I'm like, oh man, it's crazy. This is gonna be life-changing.
Yeah, what are some of the challenges of that? I mean, obviously you're playing at an elite level in the NFL. Oh, well, what is the challenge of balancing that with being an NFL player while being a dad?
Oh man, it's definitely tough. Like, because when you're in the NFL and you're trying to be that top tier player, that best player in the league, and trying to accomplish all your goals and do all those things, it's like football takes up basically like 100% of your focus. Know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard to try to raise a child everyday life and being there every day and doing all the things that you need to do with trying to focus on your career as well. But it's different things you can do, like, help the mom and all different type of things as far as like, doing what you have to do to still continue to be able to play ball and continue to raise your kids how they need to be raised.
And so you said they're 11. You retired 5 years ago, so that puts them at like 6. Did they get a chance to see you play? Did they have a chance to come out to the field and see you play?
Yeah, they see me play a couple times, but I don't think they like just all the way remember it like that. I don't think they remember it like that. So
Yeah. What has been the experience now? Obviously, you had the boys. Now you got the girl. What do you enjoy about being a girl dad?
oh man, it's crazy. It's a totally different experience from with my boys because with my daughter, it's like I'm retired. I get to sit there and like raise her from being 1 day old to like seeing her every single day, like seeing her grow up and things like that. Like it's totally different. And like the boys, they mama's boys or whatever like that. And my daughter, she's a daddy girl. So like she's up on me 24/7. I can't go anywhere without her calling my phone or saying when I'm coming back and things like that. So it's totally different when it comes to boys and girls.
Yeah, we have 3 boys. Then we got our girl on the 4th try. So I totally. One of the things that's definitely different with me is the way that I discipline my boys is different than the way I discipline my daughter. And
Right.
she's 9. She's also the baby. So what would you say? What's your discipline style as a dad, and is that different than the discipline style you grew up with?
No, it's the same, and it's crazy that it came out that my daughter is the youngest, she the baby, because I have so me growing up, my mom had 4 boys. I'm the youngest. So even though the disciplinary, it was the same with all us 4, with me, like it probably was a little bit easier on me because I was the baby. So then in their situation, it's kind of the same, but not only is she's the baby, but she's a girl. So it's just, you know what I'm saying? You gotta treat her different. Like she get in trouble, but she get away with it. She get away with a lot.
What kind of activities are the kids involved in? The boys playing sports? Your daughter involved? What kind of activities are they into?
Yeah, well, my boys, they play football, run track, they play basketball. They're pretty good. And then like my daughter, she does cheer. She also does volleyball. I've been trying to get her in track, but she ain't really having that. She's like, she don't like outside. She don't like the heat. So she like to do inside stuff. So coming up in next month. Next month is her last cheer competition. So after that, she want to go right into gymnastics. So we're gonna put her in gymnastics.
Wow, very cool. Now the boys play football. Do you get involved in coaching with them at all, or do you stay from enjoy it more from the sideline?
Well, it's kind of tough for me. Like I tried like the first few years, like I was like, yeah, I just want to be a sideline dad or like just sit back and chill. And then like, but these days in youth sports, you got so many people trying to be a coach that don't know what they doing or know what I'm saying? So it was kind of hard for me to stay on the sideline. So the last 2 years, I actually joined the coaching staff and part of the coaching staff and help coach them, not just them though, but the whole entire team, all the other younger boys and stuff like that. And but this year, so now they're 11 or whatever. So I'm gonna step back and be that sideline dad again because I feel like they're at the age now where they understand and I can coach them for the sideline. I can coach them when they get home and they know the right things to do now. So I'm going back behind the gate.
And they're in pads. Are they playing in pads?
Yeah, they're in pass.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was going to. I usually love to ask the NFL dads that I get on here, just because so many dads struggle with this. What's your take on what's a good age for parents to let their kids start playing tackle football?
Oh man, it's kind of really up to the parent, their decision and how quick their kids developing and stuff. Like my kids, I think they didn't start because now these days you can start playing tackle at like 5 years old.
Yep.
My kids, they didn't start playing until they was 8 years old. They started at 8. So I waited like 3 years till they got a little older. Probably like around what it was, probably like around fourth grade or something like that. Fourth, fifth grade around there. So yeah, I waited a little bit longer.
It's crazy too, because I mean, I know they have flag football has exploded too. My kids have played the flag football, and when we were kids, they didn't have all these options. Like, we always played football in the street. Like, we organized. There was no coaches, no refs, no parents. Nobody watched us. We made up the rules. We settled all the arguments. We
Right.
picked where the end zones were, and I think, like, especially my kids, they don't do that. You see a lot of football fields empty. You see a lot of parks that are empty. It's like kids don't seem to have that. Those skills that came with that, like just organizing a game between yourselves and playing with your friends.
Right, right. They don't have it anymore. Like you don't go out or be driving home and coming through the neighborhood and you see like all the neighborhood kids in the field over there playing football. And I was just saying something the other day to somebody, like I was coming home like in the neighborhood that I'm staying in, like it's probably been up for like 6 months now. They just built like a full court outdoor basketball court, like a full court. And I'm like, man, I've been driving by this court every day, like for the last 6 months, and I haven't seen kids play on it yet. Like I probably roll past and see like a kid or two out there shooting the ball or something like that. But I haven't seen a full court game or all the kids in the neighborhood out there playing on it yet. And it's just a thing these days, like it's just different. They're not going out there doing that. You got the social media, you got the electronics and things like that. Like when we grew up, we didn't have cell phone as kids. We only had a house phone. So you had to find something to do. So I feel like these days within youth sports, and if you got kids that's younger and like they want to be successful, they want to make it to college for a free education, things like that. Like for them to stay in the wave and for them to stay on top of their game, they have to get training. And these kids these days they get personal training. They're working with these trainers at a young age. That's why now these days we're seeing kids bigger, stronger, faster. They're learning to play these positions at a much earlier age, catching the ball way better, being able to run these routes and just doing all these things because they're getting training at a young age. And if you want your kid to be good, then you're gonna have to invest in a trainer. You got to invest in your kid if they want to make it to that level.
And obviously, too, Chris, where they go to school is going to be, where they play their college ball is going to be a big, big decision. So, and you've been through this. What advice do you have for parents that have seniors right now in high school? I mean, I'm sure they made their selection year by now, but maybe the juniors coming up. Like, walk me through that just a bit for parents that are out there trying to make the right. Kid wants to play ball in college. How do you figure out what's the right college for you?
Man, just basically like now how it is these days with the NIL and they offering the money and stuff, I would tell parents and I would actually tell these kids, don't chase the money. Don't chase the money because yeah, you could be chasing 500,000, $1 million. This school give me $1 million, this and chasing that. And then you look up every year you in the transfer protocol because things not working out at that school because you didn't really pay attention to like, dang, do these coaches really vibe with my son? Are they gonna look out for my son? Does this offensive playbook or defensive playbook fit my skill set as a player? So when you go in there chasing the money just because they offering this and that, you're gonna look up and it's on their own field is not gonna match. So you're going to be in the transfer protocol every year, and that's going to put you behind. So I feel like a lot of kids these days, they're not looking at the bigger picture. And when I say the bigger picture, they're not looking at the bigger bag. They're looking at the right now. So I can go here for 500,000, and then I'm transferring instead of like if I would have went to somewhere that's got my best interest at hand, and 3 years later, now I'm in the NFL draft, and now that's the ultimate goal. That's the bigger bag. So don't chase the bag when you're coming out of high school. That's all I would say.
Yeah, really well said, Chris. So what's your take on colleges paying the players now? How do you feel about that?
Man, I like it. I like it because I feel like they deserve it. We deserved it. I like the whole thing, but the only thing I don't like about is the structure of it. I feel like they can structure it different. And honestly, I feel like within the next few years, like it's gonna happen. They're gonna have to do it because, like I've seen guys that's in the transfer protocol every other year just because this school is offering this much money.
Right.
It don't matter if they had a good year at this school or not, but it's like, oh, I can get in the transfer protocol and make $500,000, so I'm finna go over here. You know what I'm saying? So like, I feel like that college football, NCAA, they definitely is going to have to do something about the structure of it in some type of way. And I'm not sure what they can do, but I'm sure it's in the works, or they're mean about it at this point.
Yeah, there's definitely going to have to be something down the line. And I agree. We've been saying that for years, that the guys should be getting paid just because they're making so much money off of the guys playing. And so it's only rightfully so, but the structure of it has to be redone. And I guess it's going to almost be like a semi-pro league at some point. It's not even going to be like the college setup. It's going to be like a semi-pro type of deal, I would imagine.
Right, definitely. Because it's all about the money. Like, it's all about the money. Like, I haven't been through the situation, but I know guys that's been through the situation, and I know parents now that got kids that have been through the situation. And I also know I have like at least five good friends of mine that I played with that are coaches in the college. And they say when these families and kids are coming in, the first thing they're asking is, okay, how much money can you offer me? That's the only thing they care about. They don't care about, oh, what kind of offensive scheme y'all run, or how many running backs or receivers you got on the depth chart, or this and that. They only care about how much money are y'all offering me. That's the only thing they care about. So that's how I know that it's definitely going to have to change.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And then switching it back into you as a dad here, what would you say, Chris, are the top values that you hope to instill in your kids growing up?
Man, just hard work. Hard work. Nothing is free. Nothing is given to you without hard work. And just be a man of your word. And even my daughter, hard work. Whatever you want, nothing is given to you. You always got to have your own. You always got to work for it and earn your own. And if you put in the hard work and stay focused, anything that you want to do, you will accomplish it with hard work and staying focused.
Yeah. Well said. And obviously you've had a legendary NFL career. You're one of the legendary running backs. What would you say, though, you want your legacy to be as a father?
As a father, just really for them to when they speak about me, that I did everything in my power to make sure they were successful, that I taught them the right way and the right things to do. And I made sure that they never had to depend on anybody else.
Good stuff. And the last thing I want to hit you with here, Chris, I love to ask all the dads that I get on the podcast, what type of advice do you have for that new dad or for that about-to-be father who's out there listening?
Oh, man, it's a lot of hard work, but at the end of the day, nothing is more better than watching your kids grow up and be happy and be successful.
I love the message. This has been a lot of fun for me. Chris Johnson, your first-class father all the way. Thanks for giving me a few minutes of your time on First Class Fatherhood.
Thank you.
Alec Lace has interviewed more than 700 dads on his award-winning podcast, First Class Fatherhood. Dads from all walks of life, including Tom Brady, Deion Sanders, Matthew McConaughey, Steve Harvey, Tony Hawk, Eric Trump, and so many more. Find out why First Class Fatherhood has been #1 on the iTunes charts. Who these men are as fathers and how they raise their children is far more important than anything they accomplish in their careers. Alec Lace encourages his high-profile guests to share their fatherhood journeys and offer advice to new and soon-to-be dads. Let every father in your contact list know about First Class Fatherhood. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Every day is Father's Day on First Class Fatherhood.